everyone, and welcome to the MLB postseason preview for 2019. I'm your host, Brian Mansell, and I'm joined by Matthew Flood, Laik Green, and Nick Bossotti. Today, we're going to discuss the wild card matchups between the Rays and the Athletics and the Brewers and the Nationals. In addition, we're also going to give you each of our postseason analysis for how it's going to turn out, who's going to win the World Series this year. How you guys doing today?
Excellent.
I'm doing
Glad
well.
to be
Honky dory.
Honky dory?
Honky dory.
That's a new one. All right, so we're just going to jump straight into this here. We got the Rays playing the Athletics on Wednesday on ESPN at 8 o'clock. So they've already revealed the pitching matchup for the Rays, but they haven't revealed anything for the Athletics yet. It's going to be Charlie Morton going up against that A's lineup. Blake, what's your thoughts?
Charlie Morton had a great year this year with the Rays. I thought it might have been Blake Snell at some point, but they chose Morton, rightfully so. And like you said earlier, before we started the show, Morton loves his curveball, and the A's struggle against the curveball. I like the A's. The A's are a gutsy team, and they always somehow, with that low payroll, end up in the playoff picture. But I don't think that they're going to be able to beat Tampa Bay here. I just think Morton is going to shut them down. I have a prediction he's going to go 6 or 7 innings, at least 9 strikeouts.
And what do you think about the hitting? Do you think the Rays hitting could take advantage of the A's pitching, whoever's on the mound?
Yeah, I mean, the A's pitching, that's a big question mark. I don't know who's going to start for them. Manaea, maybe?
We'll have to see. Matt, what do you think about this?
I think that the A's, it's going to be a difficult matchup, but actually I'm going to go against what you were saying. I think the A's will pull it out because that's what they've always done. The A's just keep grinding, keep doing what they got to do, and I think they'll come out of it and come out victorious.
So, Nick, what are your thoughts on Rays A's?
Okay, so like I said, I've been a big Charlie Morton fan. I had his jersey when he was on the Pirates. Game 1 jersey in 2013 since he wasn't that good. He goes to the Astros. He beats the Yankees in the 2017 ALCS game. He's just been phenomenal since he's been on the Astros and Rays. That being said, I don't see any way that the Rays or the A's pull this off, especially with Laik and Brian mentioned, with Charlie Morton's curveball against those right-handed hitters like Matt Chapman, Marcus Semien, the good Chris Davis. Matt Olson, he's a lefty. I think, in my personal perspective, the Rays are going to take this. And one thing I'm going to say about the A's is that I think Sean Manaea is going to be the starting pitcher. He's a good pitcher, but Morton's a little older. Morton's been in the postseason longer. The Rays just have more experience, and I just think the Rays are going to come away with this victory.
Okay, so finally, who do you guys got winning this game? Laik?
The Rays, the road team, they're going to pull it off, and I definitely see them winning by at least 3 runs.
Okay.
I
Matthew?
got the Athletics, the home team, pulling it off, and I think that their gutsiness will help them and they'll win.
Okay, and Nick?
For this matchup, my final score, I'll make a projection. My final score projection is the Rays. I say the Rays 5 and the A's 2.
Okay, 5-2. That's around where I had. I have the, I'm going to take the Rays over the Athletics. It's a tough pitching matchup, whoever's starting. It's going to be Rays 4-2. So, with that being said, the winner of that game will be going on to play the Astros in the American League Division Series. Now, let's move to the National League. The Brewers are going to be playing the Nationals on Tuesday at 8 o'clock on TBS. So, they've already revealed the pitching matchup for that. You're going to have Brandon Woodruff, who's coming off his oblique injury, to play against Max Scherzer. Yes, the Max Scherzer. This is going to be an incredible pitching matchup for both teams. This is going to be a low-scoring game. Matthew, what do you think?
I think the Nationals are going to do it like you were talking about. Max Scherzer, the Max Scherzer, coming in. I think he'll be lights out. And I think the other team, since that pitcher has an injury, that'll affect him a little bit, and he'll give up one mistake, and one mistake too many.
Okay. Laik?
Definitely got to say that the Nationals are going to win this one. You just can't go wrong with Max Scherzer. I don't know. He's the best. He is the best pitcher on that team, and sure first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. I think he's just going to take care of business, and I don't think Milwaukee is going to win this game, especially without Christian Yelich.
So no shot.
I just don't see it happening. As much as the Nationals struggle in the playoffs and they have a track record of imploding when it matters most, I definitely see them winning this game. I just don't think Milwaukee has any viable path against Scherzer. and without Christian Yelich.
Good point there. Nick?
Lake, you actually just took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say the same thing. I think Christian Yelich could have been an MVP candidate if he hadn't gone down with that injury. Considering Woodruff, as Mr. Flood here I mentioned before, with Brandon Woodruff, the whole problem with his oblique, I think that's going to affect him a lot when he pitches. I mean, a guy, obviously, Max Scherzer, I agree he's a first ballot Hall of Famer as well. You know, for the Brewers, you know, you've got some good bats there. I mean, they have Eric Thames, who's had a solid year. You got Ryan Braun, you got Lorenzo Cain. But that being said, I think the Nationals are going to take this one, especially with a young outfielder. Why the Nationals gave up Bryce Harper and Juan Soto. I mean, I feel like Milwaukee with Yelich is a better team, but I just think without him and the pitching matchup being so kind of in one direction, I think the Nationals are going to come away victorious.
Exactly, Nick. And once again, Woodruff's coming off that oblique. I just think there's a lot of ifs there, and there's too many ifs with that lineup against Scherzer.
Well, you can say about that if you want, guys. But let's also mention how, even though he's coming off that oblique injury, which he already played a game or two before this game. So that's all right. But the issue is mostly that they're only going to use him for 3 or 4 innings, most likely, just so they can ease him back into the rotation.
And now they have to dig into that bullpen.
So now you got to dig into the bullpen. But we all know how strong that Milwaukee bullpen is. So we're also not taking that into account. So we got to think about that too. But with that being said, Nick, what do you think is going to be the victor here?
Between the Brewers, I definitely think it's going to be the Nationals, hands down. I mean,
100% the Nationals?
100% the Nationals.
Okay. Laik?
100% Washington Nationals.
Okay.
100% the Washington Nationals. I think Max Scherzer is going to pitch lights out, and they're going to advance victorious.
I'm going to give one statistic to give away my answer here. 4 batters on the Milwaukee lineup, the strongest ones, Ryan Braun, Yasmani Grandal, Mike Moustakas, and Lorenzo Cain. Lifetime against Max Scherzer, bat .089 as a batting average. So with that statistic, I think it's safe to say the Nationals are going to win this game. So also, off of that, we'll be right back with our postseason predictions for the rest of the playoffs.
What's up, everyone? My name's Connor Keating. I'm on the men's golf team, part of SFBK Athletics. Big show. Friend here, Tim. He's on the men's tennis team. All we want to say is just follow our Instagrams, because then you can catch some cool footage of us practicing what we do on a daily basis. Golf is SFBK_men's golf.
And tennis is SFBK_M tennis.
Hopefully we see you guys at some of our tournaments. Go Terriers.
All right, welcome back. So, going on now into the postseason predictions, let's break it down by rounds. So, American League Division Series. For you, Matt, you have the A's playing the Astros. Who's winning that?
It's going to be 6 games, and I think that Houston will win. I think
Okay,
Houston will
Houston
beat
knocks
the
out the
Astros.
A's in 6. Okay. So, for you, you have the Rays and the Astros. Who's going to win that?
Definitely got to think that the Tampa Bay Rays will not win. The Astros will win in 6 games.
Okay, Astros in 6. Okay. So, Nick, you have Rays and Astros. How's that going to go?
I think my projection is pretty similar. I'm going to actually be a little tad bit different. I'm going to call the Astros are going to win in 5 games. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because I think the Houston Astros are the best team in the MLB. They're the only threat to the Yankees getting to the World Series. I think if the Yankees make the World Series, the Dodgers don't have a shot against them. And that being said, if the Yankees have a problem against the Astros, think of the problems that the Rays would have against the Astros. I mean, think of the Astros. They got Verlander. Okay, they got Altuve. They got Bregman. They got George Springer. I just don't think the Astros. I don't think anyone can beat the Astros. I mean, they got a bunch of aces. They got Zach Greinke as well. They did. Aaron Sanchez hasn't done that well. He's a great pitcher, but he had not the greatest year. But they just have so much depth, and they're front and back, in my opinion, the best team in the MLB. If they're going to give my Yankees a problem, I don't see how the Rays have any shot against them.
Okay. And then for me, I've got the Rays and the Astros. I think it's kind of obvious here. I'm going to say Astros win it in 6. I'm going to go with everybody else here. I think it's going to be Astros in 6. Because we all know the Rays have 2 solid pitchers in their lineup, and I think that's going to cause some problems for the Astros. That's why they're going to drop a couple. But overall, the Astros will pull it out. It'll be easy win. But on the other side of the ALDS, we have the Twins and the Yankees. That is a big matchup. 2 of the strongest hitting teams in
300
MLB
plus home runs.
going
each of them.
against each other.
I'm about to make a bold
Remember
prediction.
this, okay? The Twins had 306 homers on the year. The Yankees had 305. They were 1 home run behind the Twins. So they're pretty balanced on bats here. But now it's going to come down to the pitching. Matt, what do you think?
Yankees, my Yankees. I'm a diehard fan, but I do think the Yankees will come in, beat up the Twins, and advance.
Okay. How about you?
Like I said, I'm about to make a bold prediction. The Yankees are not only going to win this series, they're going to win it in 5 games.
They're going to do 5. So no sweep? No sweep against the Twins? Why not?
Because I just don't think that like you said, they're very even on bats, but I just don't think that the Yankees will be able to do it in 5.
So
or
do you think they're going to choke a game of the Twins against like
Right.
Barrios?
I think
or
there's a little bit of a
Ottavino?
bullpen
Yeah, Jake
problem with
Ottavino.
the New York Yankees. They have strength in starting, but I just think their bullpen might slip up a little bit.
Okay. What about you, Nick?
I think it's pretty obvious, in my opinion. 2 of the best lineups of all time. You got with the Twins. You got the catcher that bats leadoff, Mitch Garver. I mean, you got Jorge Polanco. You got Max Kepler. I mean, they're just. But with the Yankees, obviously you got Stanton, who just came back. You got Judge. You got Gregorius. You got Sanchez. The hitting is even, but at the end of the day, the Twins, the pitching the Yankees pitching isn't elite. Neither is the Twins pitching. Obviously, they got Jose Barrios. They got Jake Odorizzi, who former Tampa Bay Ray. I'm going to go the Yankees in 6. I think they both have great lineups, but I just think especially, even though Herman is out for the rest of the postseason, which I'm very upset about that, we still got Severino. We still got Tanaka. I mean, our pitching is still good, so it's like I just don't see any scenario other than hitting how the Twins will be able to keep up with us.
Okay. And I think you guys hit on every single point I wanted to make here. Because if we look at the entire rotation for the Yankees, it's J.A. Happ, Luis Severino.
Tanaka, you can't.
We have
forget about
Masahiro Tanaka.
Masahiro
I won't
Tanaka.
forget him. And the guy they got from the Mariners, I believe, over
Paxton.
the offseason,
Paxton.
James Paxton.
Paxton.
Those 4 together are
Lethal.
very, very dangerous.
Lethal.
Lethal.
It sucks they don't have Herman, but it's
Yes.
fine. They'll live. I think
Yeah.
Yankees
No
beat
loss.
the Twins in 6. So that's your ALDS, which means everyone's ALCS here is going to be Astros, Yankees. We'll get to that after we do the NLDS. So the NLDS, let's try to remember here who the Dodgers going to be playing for you, Matt.
It's going to be Nationals Dodgers, and I think that it's going to be a tough series. It's going to be really tough. It's going to go down to the last game, but I think the Dodgers' experience in the postseason will help them, and they'll win that series.
So you think the Dodgers are going to win in 7?
Yes,
Wow. It's going to 7 games.
yes, I think it will.
Okay. Why? Do you think it's because of Asdrubal Cabrera? And
I think it's because of the bats, like you said. I think it's because of the hitting, and I think that the grittiness of each team, they will both buckle down on what they're doing, and I think that in the end, the Dodgers and their experience, they'll come in and they'll win.
Okay, Lake.
I think the Dodgers will win every game but 1. So
Okay, so you're going to
Dodgers
say
will definitely
Dodgers
win
in
that
5.
series. Dodgers
Okay.
in 5.
Nick.
I think it's going to be the Dodgers. You know what? I'm gonna pull a bit of a wild card. Yeah, you know what? Dodgers in 5.
Dodgers
Same
5?
thing.
Okay.
Because you know
Scherzer's
what?
the only man who's going to get a win.
Yeah, I mean, of course. And not only that, but with the Dodgers, I mean, you're thinking of the potential NL MVP candidate. This man, Cody Bellinger, is like 2 years older than me, and he almost has 100 career home runs. That's crazy. And you got Justin Turner. You got guys all over. I mean, Kershaw's not great in the postseason, but he's
Right.
still there.
And you can't forget about Hyun-Jin Ryu.
Hyun-Jin Ryu. You got Maeda. You got Buehler. You got Kenley Jansen in the bullpen. I mean, this Dodgers team front and back. It's just it's a very good team, and I just don't see anyone. And they also have Corey Seager too. He was hurt last year and he came back this year. I just don't see any scenario where the Nationals even come close. A sweep could be in there. Maybe Scherzer screws up one game, but I say Dodgers in 5.
I think it's going to depend on how the pitching lines up. I think if Ryu faces Scherzer, then that's a 50-50 right there.
Kershaw, I think Kershaw's a better pitcher. I think Scherzer
Scherzer
will beat
will
him
outduel Kershaw, like you said, just because he has track records
in the playoffs.
Okay. So, I'm going to make it quick. I'm going to say Dodgers top the Nationals in 6. I think they'll somehow get 2 games on them. I don't know how. I can't tell you how. But I have a feeling that the Nationals get 2 games on them. But it's going to be Dodgers in 6. As for the other matchup, we all know it. It's the Cardinals game. So, Cardinals-Braves. What do you think, Matt?
Cardinals-Braves. I'm going to go with the Braves. I think the Braves, being in the postseason, I think that they will be able to come in, handle business, and win. How many games will it take? I think it's going to take them 6 games to do that.
6 games?
Yes.
Okay. Laik.
I definitely think that the Braves will beat the Cardinals here. I think the Braves are a better team. St. Louis is in a division where, I mean, yeah, you have the Cubs, yeah, you have the Brewers.
Pirates aren't very good.
The Pirates aren't good, and the Reds are, of course, not very good either, mediocre. So they had a weaker division, and I think that Atlanta, being in one of the most contested divisions in the NL East, minus the Marlins, of course, I just definitely think that Atlanta is going to win here. And I think that you can't forget about 2 names, Julio Teheran and Mike Soroka.
Okay.
I love Mike Soroka. One thing I want to say about Mike Soroka, the man's a month older than me, and his ERA is like barely, I don't even think it's a 3. I mean,
He's phenomenal.
he's phenomenal. I mean, the fact he's that young and he's able to dominate from
Almost
that
perfect.
early on is unbelievable. So, into my projection about the Braves and the Cardinals, I think it could be a sweep, but I'm going to say the Cardinals win 1 game. I'm going to say Braves win it in 5. Think about it. You got Ozzie Albies. You got Ronald Acuna Jr. is one of the best young players in baseball. I mean, you got Freddie Freeman. You got Dansby Swanson starting to come together. You got Julio Teheran, Mike Soroka, a decent bullpen. So they got Sean Newcomb as well, the lefty. I honestly think that no-brainer. The Braves are going to win this in 5. Like Laik said, they're in a weak division. The Cardinals, I don't think they're that good. Obviously, they got Paul Goldschmidt, and they got some good names. They got Matt Carpenter, and they have. Their starting pitching hasn't been great. Wainwright's kind of, wouldn't say washed up, but he's not the same pitcher. And you got Michael Wacha, who's subpar, nothing great.
Right. They're a mediocre team, and
The Braves aren't a mediocre team.
no, St. Louis.
No, I know. I'm saying
St. Louis is a mediocre team, and they run a tight ship there in St. Louis. They always do. That's why they compete every year. But I just don't think they're going to be able to match up with them.
Yeah.
Okay, so on top of that, I'm going to have to say, and I'm going to be bolder than the rest of you, I'm going to say the Braves sweep. I think the Braves are going to sweep the Cardinals. I think they're too strong all around. And think about one guy you guys are all forgetting on the Braves, Freddie Freeman. You guys are forgetting Freddie Freeman. He is amazing against right-handed pitchers this season. But here's the thing. Every single starting pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals is a righty. So
a big
I
factor.
think Freeman's going to take advantage of that, and he's going to be the big difference maker in this series, and that's why the Braves are going to sweep. So that means we all agree that the top 2 seeds in both sides are going to the championship series.
Absolutely.
Agreed?
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that means Yankees versus Astros and Dodgers versus Braves. So
100%.
let's look into this. These are the 2 toughest series we've ever seen. So, Dodgers and Braves, who do you got?
Dodgers and Braves. That's a tough one. I think this one will go 6 games. I'm gonna give it to the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers will come in with their pitching and their hitting and just win and inch out. It's gonna be tough, but I think their gutsiness will help them and they'll win.
Okay.
Hands down the Dodgers. Dodgers are the best team in the NL.
Hands down the Dodgers. I mean, I don't see any scenario where, Atlanta could beat them. Yeah, they got all these young bats, but look at the 2 rosters. You got, even if he's not good in the playoffs, you got Kershaw, you got Ryu, you got Maeda, you got Walker Buehler, you got a good bullpen with Kenley Jansen. They're just front and back a better team than the Braves. Dodgers could sweep, but I'll give 1 game to the Braves. Dodgers in 5 easily.
So we're all saying Dodgers here. It's too bad it's not all. I'm going to go Braves here. I'm going to be the bold one and say that the Braves win it. I think it's going to come down to 7 games. You look at everything in that Braves lineup, I think it is the most difficult team the Dodgers will face next to the Astros or Yankees. And I think that the Braves may get a couple games on them. I think that's when that happens, and when that happens, you're going to lose a little bit of momentum. And it's going to come to Game 7 down into the Dodger Stadium, and who do you think the hero is going to be?
You're going to say Freddie Freeman.
I'm not going to say Freddie Freeman. I'm going to say a pitcher.
Mike Soroka?
It's either Soroka or it's going to be Fultinowicz.
I forgot to
Folty.
mention it. Folty's
Fulte
Fulte.
might
Man.
be the hero in
Throwing
Game
99.
7. I'm going to sit
first
here and
round
say the
pick for a
Braves
reason.
win in 7. I
still
wanna
don't
say
think
the
it's going to
Dodgers.
happen.
I think it could go.
I gotta
It's
disagree.
going to go either way, I think. But
gonna
in
be a
my
tight
opinion,
series.
it's going to be down to 7 games for sure.
But I still
the
think
fact
hands
that you
down
think
the
it's
Dodgers
5,
got it.
I think
you're
it's
blowing my
Dodgers.
mind. The fact that you think it's 5 games
Okay.
for the Dodgers to win is stunning.
I still think that LA hands down has got it because of the experience.
You could say the experience, but
I think the Braves are going to be a threat in it as the years go by, and these guys mature a little bit and get a little bit more playoff seasoning under their belt.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think right now it's still the Dodgers team to beat,
What did you all guys say? I was 5. You were.
I was 6.
and I'm going to say 5.
Okay, so 5, 5, 6, and then Braves in 7. Okay. I guess we got the one odd one. And then we're going to come to the actual World Series matchup, which is the ALCS.
Exactly.
And it's the Yankees versus the Astros.
Yes.
So this one's going to be one of the best playoff series we've seen in the last decade.
Yes.
That's my thought. So, Nick, I'm going to start off with you. I'm going to get a little opposite here. So
Okay.
who do you think's got it?
Non-biased completely. I think the Astros are a better team than the Yankees. I do, slight better. They got Verlander. They obviously got Greinke. They got great hitting. You got Bregman. You got Altuve. Did Correa ever come back, or is he done?
I think he's supposed to be coming back, right?
You got Correa
Yeah.
coming back from
Yeah.
the playoffs, or from being hurt, coming into the playoffs. You got George Springer. That being said, I think when the Yankees went to LA this year and won 3, almost swept them in their own stadium, the Astros are their only threat.
Yeah.
That being said, I truly believe that even though the Astros won the World Series, I think the Yankees haven't won a World Series in 10 years will make them more hungrier than the Astros. And that being said, the Yankees take down the Astros in 7 games.
Wow. Okay. Laik?
Yeah, I think I just think that Houston is going to win in 7.
Houston in 7. Okay, so Houston is your pick.
Houston's my pick. I mean,
Okay.
I really hope the Yankees win. I'm a Yankee fan, but once again I just think Houston's too good.
Okay.
Me, I'm going to have to go against what you said. I think it's going to take 7 games, but the New York Yankees will come in, do what they got to do, and win. And I think the hero of that Game 7 will be Aaron Judge. I think he's going to hit a critical home run that
So-
will bring the
so,
Yankees to the World Series.
On top of that, is that Yankee bias by going with Aaron Judge?
I am a Yankee fan, and there's a little bit of bias, but I do think that the Yankees have what it takes this year. And they'll go into Houston, they'll do what they have to do, they'll win in the Game 7. So
I think this is going to be a very, very hard matchup. But I'm going to agree with Matt and Nick here, and I'm going to say the Yankees in 7. And I think you're a little off on who the hero is going to be. I think you guys are all saying Aaron Judge. We all talk about
I got my own
Gary
hero.
Sanchez. We also got to remember all the young guys that have been there this year. And been
I got my
contributing.
guy in my head.
Who's your guy?
Well, you should go.
Oh, you want me to go first? Oh, how nice of you. Okay, I'm going to go with Gio Urshela.
Is it? Did he get hurt?
I believe
recently?
he did get hurt,
He
but I
did.
believe he's supposed to
He's
be
gonna-
back.
he'll be back.
Yes.
If
He'll
we
be
make
back.
it, if the Yankees make it to the American League Championship Series, he will be back. So, in my opinion, I do believe that Gio Urshela will be the hero when he gets back. So, because he's been the difference maker all season for the Yankees, he has been the consistent marker. Even when he's come back from injury, he has been one of the best players on that team, and I think he's going to prove it again. And that's why they'll win
agree.
at 7.
who's your
My hero for
guy?
the series, I have one guy that's like a big-time hero. Okay, this might be a little bit bandwagonish, but me personally, I think DJ LeMahieu is going to make a huge difference for the
You
Yankees.
think DJ LeMahieu?
I think DJ LeMahieu, I
Forgot about him completely.
he may win.
That's a little bit of an oddball pick.
He may win the batting title with the average, or I don't know if I think he might have been a little short. I haven't looked at it recently, but he has like a 328, 330 batting average.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, the man almost has 200 hits every year. I liked him since he was with the Rockies. Underrated player. Well, now he's not underrated. He's in a big market. He's getting his recognition. But
Finally.
when you're facing those Astros pitchers, I mean, I just don't see no pitcher. Maybe Verlander has a shot at stopping him. LeMahieu's went up against great pitching this year, and he shredded it all. I just don't see how it can be any different. I say LeMahieu, if I had to make an odd projection, let's say Game 7 is like a Verlander-Severino game. And I think the Yankees are going to start off losing that game. Let's say like 4-1 going into the 6th inning. And I say Verlander exits the game. He's still in the game, but the Yankees get runners on. And I think LeMahieu is going to, let me put up the score to 4-2. I think LeMahieu's going to hit either a bases clearing, 3-run double, or some sort of go-ahead hit or game-tying hit.
So you're giving us a whole breakdown.
Basically, in the 7th inning. LeMahieu's either going to tie the game or win the game. And his defense is pretty good, too. Let's not forget that.
Okay, so everyone's in agreement except for Laik that the Yankees are going in. So that means each of your matchups for the World Series, you've got the Yankees and the Astros. You've got the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Yes.
My apologies. You've got the Astros and the Dodgers. You have the Yankees and the Dodgers. And I have the Yankees and the Braves. So,
It's a more interesting
from
series.
there, Nick, for you, who do you got?
As I said before, I think the Astros are the only team that could stand in the Yankees' way. If they bypass them, there's no team that can stop the Yankees. Okay, they beat the Dodgers, almost swept them. If it wasn't that game, Sabathia, Gonsolin beat them. They lost 2-1. Sabathia pitched great, but they lost. Let's be real. If they could beat them away, I don't think the Yankees are going to have any trouble with them in the Bronx. And that being said, it's going to be a long series nonetheless. It's going to be back and forth, competition. I'm going to have the Yankees beat the Dodgers in 7 games.
7 again?
7 again.
Okay, 7 games. All right,
I
Matt.
think it's going to be the Yankees. I think the Yankees will beat the Dodgers in 5 games. And I think the key player for this series will be Luis Severino.
So you're going to say that Severino gets like the World Series MVP?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
And I think that Aaron Judge and all the Yankee players will have a great series. And this will be, like you said, this is going to be like a joyride. After they get through the Astros, they'll be going in, being able to easily beat.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that selection for you guys. So, Laik, you have Astros and Dodgers. What do you think? This is the most popular matchup.
I definitely got to say that Houston is going to win this. If they beat the Yankees, that is. And I'm picking them to beat the Yankees. I didn't really elaborate so much on that before, but because of track record, Severino has struggled in the playoffs. Happ was shaky.
Not that good of a pitcher.
Right. So I just don't think the Yankees will be able to beat Houston. So therefore, I just think that, once again, I think we said the only team that had the potential to stop the Yankees is Houston. I think they stop them, and I think that same thing, going to be a joyride for Houston. I just don't think the Dodgers compete with
So how many games you thinking for the Astros-Dodgers?
5 or 6.
So 5 or 6 for the Astros to top the Dodgers. Okay. And now I have the oddball one, the Yankees and the Braves. Now, I'm also going to say this is a very underrated matchup that could possibly happen.
I'd honestly rather see this than the
These are the
Dodgers.
number 2 seeds from both leagues facing off. So I think the pitching for the Braves is better than the Yankees, 100%. But the thing is, the Braves do not have the power that the Yankees have. And if the Yankees are at full power against the Braves, I don't know if the Braves can keep up. So with that being said, I think the Yankees are going to beat the Braves in 6. And how confident am I? I brought my hat today just to prove it. So just so you know, this is the team that's winning this year. They are winning the World Series. Sorry, Laik.
Sorry,
The Yankees are winning the World Series.
I hope
That's
you're
how
right.
it's going to stand.
I hope you are right. I do.
And I hope
truly
so too.
hope you're right.
We all hope the Yankees win. But that's going to do it for our postseason preview for the 2019 season.
Have a
I'm your
great
host,
day,
Brian
y'all.
Mansell.
Matthew Flood coming in.
Laik Green.
Nick Bossotti, all of you watching this, have a wonderful day.
God bless.